Back on Sportsbet Betting Insight today, Paulie and Teddy. Reminder, we will have a show Monday. We're going to pre-record the show. We don't want people coming in at 5 in the morning the day after Christmas. So it'll be big game breakdown, and then we'll recap everything in the NFL on Tuesday's show. So look for that coming up Monday and Tuesday. Happy holidays out there. Live on sportsbookreview.com. This is the St. Pete Bowl, Monday, 8 o'clock Pacific in the morning. Miami of Ohio against Mississippi State. Miss State 14, 58.5 the total. One of the best stories in college football. Miami started 0-6. Then they finished the season 6-0, and they made the quarterback change, Teddy, and it made a world of difference, obviously.
Yeah. Now, no team in NCAA history started 0-6 and made a bowl prior to this year's Miami of Ohio Red Hawks. Now, you're talking about the quarterback change. Gus Ragland, who became the starter after that 0-6 beginning of the season. Well, he went 6-0 in his 6 starts. Look, he ranks number 6 in pass efficiency. He threw for more than 1,200 yards. He has a 15-0 touchdown to interception ratio. And the Red Hawks made everyone who backed them a ton of money over the back half of the campaign. We're talking about a guy who tore his ACL in April, and he might have been the starter to begin with if he didn't get hurt. It was an open competition. But once he got the job, the Red Hawks offense, which did nothing during that 0-6 start, all of a sudden came alive. And, of course, a team that averaged less than 100 yards per game in the 6 losses improved to close to 170 yards per game on the ground over the back half of the season when they won all 6 of those games. And, of course, Miami, number 1 in the MAC in total defense, number 2 against the run, holding foes to just 21 points per game in conference play.
But it is an SEC opponent, so they're going to be bigger, faster, and stronger. And Nick Fitzgerald had 182 yards against A&M, 258 against Ole Miss in late-season games. Tough matchup against the Miami O because they're going to be bigger. He's bigger than the linebackers. They're going to have to tackle him. And they don't see this physical style in the MAC, Teddy.
No, they don't. And, of course, the MAC has been a miserable point spread conference in bowl games. You know, we're talking about since 2008, the MAC entered bowl season. My numbers show them at 15-32 ATS. That's 32% against the spread as a conference since 2008. So when you're making a case for MAC teams, you better make a pretty good case. When you look at Nick Fitzgerald and what he was able to do and his size, I mean, we're talking about a guy who rushed for more than 1,200 yards this season. In the SEC, he averaged 7 yards per carry. He threw for 2,200 yards and another 21 scores. He's got a big-time wide receiver in Fred Ross, a 2-time all-first-team SEC performer. You know, he's got the multiple running backs. Aris Williams, you know, averaged 113 yards per game over the last 4 contests, 5.2 yards for the season. I'm with you. I don't know that Miami O is going to be able to shut this defense down. It's one thing to be shutting down the better offenses in the MAC. They didn't face a lot of the better offenses in the MAC. It's another thing to be doing it against a bigger, more physical team with a brutal quarterback to stop an SEC, obviously, caliber offense.
Yep, Mississippi State had its problems on defense. They allowed 34 points per game and almost 500 yards to SEC opponents. Due to graduation and injuries, they lost 8 regulars. They had 25 first-time starters, the most in the SEC, and 9th most nationally. While it's a good story and a feel-good story with the turnaround, at the end of the day, who did Miami really beat?
Well, let's see. The 2 teams that Miami O beat that are in bowl games, they beat Central Michigan. No, they didn't show up real well in that game against Tulsa. And they beat Eastern Michigan, who will play ODU. But when you're talking about stepping up in class, Red Hawks didn't do that a whole lot. I'd be reluctant to take them plus the points here against the Bulldogs.
Hey guys, for the full video, go to sbrpicks.com.
That's right, the 8th annual SBR Forum Bash will be held at the breathtaking all-inclusive Hard Rock Hotel in Punta Cana on Super Bowl weekend. Join Natalie Rydstrom and the Odds Couple as they mingle with SBR pros and have fun under the sun. Stay tuned for video coverage of Bash activities, including a $5,000 poker tournament sponsored by uwager.eu. Only on SBR, your sportsbook authority since 1999.